The Hidden Path to Fulfillment. Discovering Joy in the Ordinary. Written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. Introduction. In a world that celebrates the extraordinary, it's easy to feel that our daily lives, the routines, the small moments, the ordinary tasks, are somehow less meaningful, less important. We're told that happiness lies in grand achievements, in the next big promotion, in acquiring the latest gadget, or in taking that dream vacation. But what if we've been looking in the wrong places all along? What if true fulfillment isn't something we need to chase, but something we can find right here, right now, in the very fabric of our everyday lives? For years, I believed that happiness and fulfillment were tied to extraordinary experiences. I measured my worth by the milestones I could check off, the accolades I could collect, the likes and shares that validated my successes. But despite achieving many of the goals I set for myself, I often found that the joy was fleeting, quickly replaced by the need to chase the next big thing. Sound familiar? If you've ever felt the same, a gnawing sense that, despite your accomplishments, something is missing, you're not alone. The truth is, the constant pursuit of the extraordinary can leave us feeling disconnected, unsatisfied, and even empty. It's a cycle that many of us find ourselves trapped in, always looking forward to the next high, yet never quite finding the lasting fulfillment we seek. But what if there's another way? A path to fulfillment that doesn't require us to constantly strive for more, but instead invites us to pause, to breathe, and to look more closely at the life we already have. This path, often overlooked and undervalued, is the hidden path to fulfillment, a path that leads us to discover joy in the ordinary moments that fill our days. This book is about finding that hidden path. It's about shifting our focus from what we think we need to be happy to what's already present in our lives. It's about learning to appreciate the beauty in the mundane, to find meaning in the small moments, and to cultivate a sense of contentment that isn't dependent on external achievements. Throughout the pages of this book, we'll explore how to uncover the hidden joys that are all around us, waiting to be noticed. You'll learn how to transform daily routines into meaningful rituals, how to embrace the small steps that lead to lasting change, and how to cultivate presence, gratitude, and mindfulness in your everyday life. We'll delve into the ways in which the ordinary can inspire creativity, deepen your relationships, and ultimately, lead you to a more fulfilling, joyful life. We've noticed that 67% of you watching our videos haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Help us grow by hitting the subscribe button and giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you for inspiring us to keep creating content for you. I would love to hear your thoughts. How did this book resonate with you, and what insights or questions did it inspire? Let's begin this journey together and discover the joy that lies in the ordinary. Chapter 1. Recognizing the Mundane. In the hustle of daily life, we often overlook the most powerful moments. These moments aren't the grand milestones, the accolades, or the big changes we anticipate. Instead, they are the small, seemingly insignificant routines that fill our days, the mundane. When you wake up in the morning, perhaps you go straight to making coffee, checking your phone, or getting ready for work. It's easy to view these actions as mere steps to get through before the real part of the day begins. But what if these moments were more than just transitions? What if they held the key to something deeper, something transformative? The mundane refers to the ordinary, everyday tasks and routines that make up the fabric of our lives. It's the repetitive commute to work, the habitual conversations, the daily chores that we do almost on autopilot. These activities are so familiar that we often fail to notice them at all. But within these routines lies an untapped potential. The mundane, when approached with awareness and intention, can become a gateway to personal growth and fulfillment. It's in these ordinary moments that we can cultivate mindfulness, discover joy, and find meaning. Why is it important to recognize the mundane? Because by doing so, we can shift our focus from constantly chasing the extraordinary to appreciating the richness of what's already present. This shift doesn't just lead to a more fulfilling life, it changes the way we perceive ourselves and the world around us. Let's consider a simple example. Imagine a person who sees their morning commute as a tedious, unavoidable task. Each day, they feel frustrated and impatient, waiting for it to be over so they can start their real day. Now, imagine another person who sees this same commute as an opportunity, a time to listen to a favorite podcast, reflect on their goals, or simply enjoy the scenery. The task is the same, but the experience is entirely different. One person is stuck in a cycle of frustration, while the other has transformed the mundane into something meaningful. Take the story of Pamela, a busy professional who once felt trapped in her daily grind. Every morning, she rushed through her routine, barely noticing the world around her. She viewed her day as a series of tasks to be completed, a never-ending to-do list. But one day, a simple change occurred. Pamela decided to start her day differently. Instead of rushing, she took a few moments to sit quietly with her morning coffee. She noticed the aroma, the warmth of the cup in her hands, and the stillness of the early hour. This small act of mindfulness began to change her entire outlook. She started finding peace in the quiet moments, and over time, this shift transformed her approach to her entire day. Pamela's story illustrates a fundamental truth: when we begin to recognize and appreciate the mundane, we open ourselves up to a new way of living, one that is more mindful, intentional, and fulfilling. Now, let's turn the focus to you. What are the mundane tasks in your life? How do you currently approach them? Do you rush through them, or do you take a moment to appreciate the simplicity they offer? Take a few minutes to think about your daily routines. Write down a list of the most common tasks you perform every day. Then, consider how you feel about each one. Are there ways you could approach these tasks differently? What might change if you brought more awareness and intention to these moments? To help you begin this journey, try the following exercise. 1. Write down at least 5 tasks you do every day without much thought: brushing your teeth, commuting, preparing meals. 2. How do I feel about this activity? What do I usually think about while doing it? How might I bring more mindfulness to this task? 3. Choose one routine from your list and, for the next week, approach it with full attention. Notice the details, the sensations, and the thoughts that arise. Observe how this changes your experience of the task. By beginning to recognize the mundane in your life, you're taking the first step toward transforming these ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities for growth and fulfillment. Chapter 2. The hidden depth in daily routines. In the rhythm of our daily routines lies a powerful force that often goes unnoticed. These routines, our morning rituals, the paths we take to work, the tasks we perform almost automatically, are more than just background noise in our lives. They are the unseen sculptors, quietly shaping our days, our habits, and ultimately, our identities. It's easy to dismiss these routines as mere repetition, something to get through so we can move on to what really matters. But what if we started to see them differently? What if, instead of viewing routine as monotonous, we began to understand it as a framework for personal growth and self-discovery? Routines provide structure in our lives. They create a sense of order and predictability, which can be comforting in a world that often feels chaotic. But beyond offering stability, routines also serve as the foundation upon which we build our days. They are the scaffolding that supports our more creative and spontaneous moments. Think of your routine as the bedrock of a house. Without a strong foundation, the house may stand, but it will be shaky, vulnerable to collapse at the slightest disturbance. Similarly, when we neglect or rush through our routines, we weaken the very structure that supports our overall well-being. Routine, however, has a dual nature. On one hand, it can be stabilizing and beneficial. On the other, it can become stifling if we allow it to turn into mindless repetition. The key is to find a balance, using routine to create a strong foundation while remaining mindful and intentional in how we approach it. Consider the simple act of brushing your teeth. This is a routine most of us perform without a second thought, often while thinking about what we need to do next. But what if, instead, we approach this task with full attention? What if we notice the sensation of the toothbrush on our gums, the taste of the toothpaste, the refreshing feeling afterward? In doing so, we transform a mundane task into a moment of mindfulness, a small yet significant act of self-care. The depth within routine is found in how we engage with it. When we bring awareness to these daily rituals, we uncover opportunities for reflection, growth, and even joy. Routine, then, is not the enemy of creativity or spontaneity, rather, it can be the fertile ground from which these qualities emerge. Let's take the example of a daily commute. For many, commuting is a dreaded part of the day, time spent in traffic or on crowded public transportation, waiting to arrive at the real destination. But what if we reframe this experience? Instead of seeing it as wasted time, We could view it as an opportunity. It could be a time for listening to inspiring podcasts, practicing mindfulness, or simply enjoying a few moments of solitude before the day begins. By shifting our perspective, we begin to see the commute not as a burden, but as a valuable part of our day, a routine with hidden depth. Consider the story of Patrick, a man who once felt overwhelmed by the demands of his job and family life. Each day felt like a race against the clock, with no time to breathe or reflect. His morning routine was chaotic, filled with distractions and a sense of urgency. One day, Patrick decided to make a change. He committed to waking up just 15 minutes earlier, dedicating that time to a simple morning ritual. He would sit quietly with a cup of tea, taking a few deep breaths and setting an intention for the day. This small shift had a profound impact. Over time, Patrick noticed that he felt more centered, more in control of his day. His morning ritual became a sacred space, a time to reconnect with himself before the day's demands took over. Patrick's story illustrates how even the simplest routines, when approached with intention, can bring a sense of depth and meaning to our lives. To begin unlocking the hidden depth in your own routines, consider the following tips. 1. Choose one routine to focus on, such as your morning ritual or evening wind down. Bring your full attention to this activity and notice how it feels to engage with it mindfully. 2. Build in a few extra minutes to your routine to avoid rushing. This can make a significant difference in how you experience the task. 3. Before starting your routine, take a moment to set an intention. It could be as simple as deciding to stay present or to approach the task with a sense of gratitude. 4. After completing your routine, take a few moments to reflect on the experience. How did it feel? What did you notice? This reflection can deepen your connection to the routine and help you appreciate its value. By approaching our daily routines with intention and mindfulness, we can uncover the hidden depth within them, transforming the mundane into moments of meaning and growth. Chapter 3. Mindfulness and the Mundane. Mindfulness is more than just a buzzword in wellness circles. It's a powerful tool that has the potential to transform how we experience every aspect of our lives, including the mundane. But what exactly is mindfulness, and how does it relate to the ordinary tasks and routines that fill our days? At its core, mindfulness is the practice of bringing full, non-judgmental attention to the present moment. It's about being fully aware of what's happening around us and within us, without getting caught up in distractions or judgments. When we apply mindfulness to the mundane, we begin to see these ordinary moments for what they truly are: opportunities for connection, clarity, and even joy. The mundane tasks we perform each day, washing dishes, folding laundry, or walking the dog, are like mirrors. They reflect back to us the state of our mind and our emotions. When we approach these tasks with impatience or distraction, we're often missing out on what they can teach us about ourselves. For instance, think about the last time you did a routine task while your mind was elsewhere. Perhaps you were replaying a conversation in your head or worrying about something in the future. In those moments, the task itself becomes a blur, and the present moment slips away unnoticed. But when we bring mindfulness to these tasks, we ground ourselves in the present, allowing us to experience the fullness of the moment. So how can we bring mindfulness into our everyday lives, particularly into the mundane? The first step is to recognize that every moment, no matter how ordinary, is an opportunity to practice mindfulness. It's not about finding special or extraordinary moments to be mindful, it's about bringing mindful awareness to whatever we are doing, no matter how small or routine. Let's consider the act of washing dishes. On the surface, this task may seem trivial, but when approached mindfully, it becomes a meditation in itself. As you wash each dish, notice the feel of the water, the texture of the soap bubbles, the sound of the water splashing in the sink. Allow yourself to be fully present in this simple task, without rushing to finish or letting your mind wander to other things. This mindful attention turns an ordinary chore into a calming ritual, a moment of stillness amidst the busyness of the day. The mundane is no longer just a task to be completed, but a space for mindfulness and connection with the present moment. Consider the story of Emily, who began incorporating mindfulness into her daily walks. Previously, Emily would use her walks to think through her to-do list or mentally prepare for the day ahead. She rarely noticed her surroundings, her mind constantly racing to the next task. One day, Emily decided to change her approach. Instead of letting her mind wander, she committed to being fully present during her walk. She noticed the feel of the ground beneath her feet, the rhythm of her breath, the sound of birds in the trees, and the way the sunlight filtered through the leaves. This simple act of mindfulness transformed her walk into a deeply restorative practice. Emily's mindful walks became a cornerstone of her day, offering a peaceful counterbalance to the demands of her busy life. This story illustrates that when we bring mindfulness to the mundane, we not only enhance our experience of these moments but also create space for peace and clarity in our lives. If you're new to mindfulness, or if you've struggled to maintain a mindfulness practice, here are some simple steps to get started. 1. Choose one mundane task each day to practice mindfulness. It could be anything: brushing your teeth, making your bed, or even just drinking a glass of water. Commit to being fully present during this activity. 2. Use your senses as anchors to the present moment. What do you see, hear, feel, smell, or taste? Engaging your senses helps to keep your mind from drifting. 3. Your breath is a powerful tool for mindfulness. As you engage in your chosen task, pay attention to your breathing. Notice its natural rhythm and allow it to ground you in the present moment. 4. As you practice mindfulness, thoughts may arise. You might find yourself judging the task as boring, or your mind might wander to other concerns. When this happens, simply acknowledge the thought and gently bring your focus back to the task at hand, without judgment. 5. After practicing mindfulness in a routine task, take a moment to reflect. How did it feel? Did you notice anything new or different about the experience? Reflecting on your practice can deepen your understanding and help you integrate mindfulness into more areas of your life. By bringing mindfulness into the mundane, we not only enhance our experience of these moments but also cultivate a sense of peace, presence, and purpose in our daily lives. Chapter 4. Finding Beauty in Simplicity. In a world that often equates beauty with grandiosity, it can be easy to overlook the subtle, quiet beauty that surrounds us every day. Yet, there is a profound beauty in simplicity, a beauty that is often hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by those who take the time to see it. The pursuit of beauty doesn't have to be limited to extraordinary experiences or spectacular sights. Instead, we can find beauty in the ordinary, the mundane, and the simple. When we learn to appreciate the elegance of simplicity, we open ourselves up to a richer, more fulfilling experience of life. Beauty is not confined to what is visually striking or conventionally attractive. It can be found in the most unexpected places, in the way sunlight filters through a window, in the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, or in the quiet stillness of a room early in the morning. These moments may seem insignificant, but they hold a quiet power, offering us a chance to pause, to reflect, and to appreciate the world in its most unadorned form. To find beauty in simplicity, we must first redefine what beauty means to us. It's about shifting our focus from the external and the extravagant to the internal and the understated. This shift allows us to see the world through a different lens, one that values depth over surface, and essence over appearance. Minimalism, in both philosophy and practice, offers a pathway to discovering beauty in simplicity. By stripping away the excess and focusing on what truly matters, minimalism helps us to see the inherent beauty in the essential. Consider the minimalist approach to design: clean lines, uncluttered spaces, and a focus on function, as well as form. This aesthetic is not just about reducing visual noise, it's about creating space for what is truly beautiful to emerge. The same principle can be applied to our lives. By decluttering our environments, our minds, and our schedules, we create room to appreciate the simple, often overlooked aspects of our existence. Let's take the story of Anna, a woman who found herself overwhelmed by the chaos of modern life. Her home was filled with things she didn't need, her schedule was packed with commitments she didn't enjoy, and her mind was constantly buzzing with thoughts and worries. One day, Anna decided to make a change. She began by decluttering her home, keeping only the items that brought her joy or served a clear purpose. As she cleared away the excess, she found herself drawn to the simplicity of a single flower, a small daisy that had bloomed in her garden. She placed it in a vase on her kitchen table, and each morning she would sit with her cup of tea, admiring the delicate beauty of that single flower. This simple act of appreciation became a daily ritual, a moment of calm in the midst of her busy life. Through this flower, Anna began to see the beauty in other simple things: the way her morning coffee steamed in the sunlight, the pattern of raindrops on her window, the quiet of her home after a long day. By embracing simplicity, Anna rediscovered a sense of peace and wonder that she hadn't felt in years. If you're looking to cultivate a deeper appreciation for simplicity in your own life, here are some steps to get started. 1. Beauty often reveals itself in the moments when we slow down and take the time to really see. Try to build moments of stillness into your day, where you can pause and appreciate your surroundings without distraction. 2. Whether it's your physical space, your schedule, or your mind, decluttering helps to clear away the distractions that can prevent us from seeing beauty in the simple things. Start small, clear a surface, simplify a routine, or take a few minutes to quiet your mind. 3. Pay attention to the small details that might normally go unnoticed. It could be the texture of a fabric, the pattern of light and shadow, or the way a loved one smiles. These details are often where the true beauty lies. 4. Gratitude helps us to see and appreciate the beauty in our lives, no matter how small. Try keeping a gratitude journal, where you write down the simple things you find beautiful each day. 5. Just as minimalism in design creates space for beauty, creating space in your life, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, allows you to better appreciate the simplicity around you. By learning to see beauty in simplicity, we enrich our lives with moments of quiet joy and deep appreciation. In this way, the mundane becomes not just bearable, but beautiful, a source of inspiration and fulfillment. Chapter 5. The Strength in Small Steps. In our fast-paced world, there is a constant push for big, bold moves, grand gestures that signal success and achievement. We are often led to believe that significant progress requires drastic changes or monumental efforts. Yet there is a quiet, often overlooked power in small, consistent steps. These small steps, taken daily, can lead to profound transformation over time. The journey to personal growth and fulfillment doesn't have to be marked by dramatic leaps. Instead, it can be a steady, deliberate process of taking small steps in the direction of our goals. This chapter explores how embracing small, incremental progress can lead to sustainable change and lasting fulfillment. At first glance, small steps might seem insignificant. It's easy to dismiss them as too minor to make a real difference. However, small steps have a unique strength. They are manageable, less overwhelming, and easier to sustain over time. When we focus on small, achievable actions, we build momentum and create a sense of accomplishment that fuels further progress. Consider the difference between setting a goal to run a marathon versus starting with a commitment to walk for 15 minutes each day. The former can feel daunting, leading to procrastination or burnout, while the latter is accessible and sustainable. Over time, those daily 15-minute walks can build the endurance, confidence, and habit necessary to eventually achieve the larger goal. One of the most powerful aspects of small steps is their ability to compound over time. The compound effect, a concept popularized by author Darren Hardy, suggests that small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, can lead to significant results. Imagine a person who decides to read just 10 pages of a book each day. At first, this might seem like a small, even trivial, amount of reading. However, over the course of a year, this habit would result in reading over 3,600 pages, equivalent to roughly 12 to 15 books. What started as a small daily action leads to a substantial accumulation of knowledge and personal growth. The same principle applies to other areas of life, whether it's saving money, improving a skill, or cultivating relationships. By focusing on small, consistent efforts, we create a foundation for lasting change. Consider the story of Mark, who wanted to develop a meditation practice. For years, Mark struggled with the idea of meditating. He believed that to gain any benefit, he needed to meditate for at least 30 minutes each day. This goal felt daunting, and as a result, he never even started. One day, Mark decided to take a different approach. Instead of aiming for 30 minutes, he committed to just 5 minutes of meditation each morning. This small step felt manageable, and he found it easy to integrate into his daily routine. Over time, Mark began to look forward to these brief moments of quiet, and gradually he extended his practice to 10, 15, and eventually 30 minutes. By starting small, Mark was able to build a sustainable habit that had a profound impact on his life. This story highlights the power of small steps. They make the process less intimidating, increase the likelihood of success, and ultimately lead to greater achievement. To harness the power of small steps in your own life, consider the following strategies. 1. Start by breaking down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable actions. Focus on what you can do today that will move you closer to your goal. 2. Acknowledge and celebrate the small victories along the way. Each small step is a success, and recognizing it helps to build motivation and confidence. 3. Consistency is key to making small steps effective. Even when progress feels slow, trust that these consistent efforts are building momentum. 4. Small steps offer flexibility. If you find that something isn't working, you can easily adjust your approach without feeling like you've failed. This adaptability is one of the strengths of small steps. 5. Take time to regularly reflect on your progress. Notice how far you've come, even if the steps felt small at the time. This reflection reinforces the power of incremental progress. By focusing on small steps, you can create a steady path toward your goals, one that is sustainable and deeply rewarding. These small actions, when practiced consistently, lead to meaningful, lasting change. Chapter 6. Cultivating Presence in the Present. Life is a series of moments, each unique and unrepeatable. Yet, how often do we find ourselves disconnected from the present, lost in thoughts of the past or worries about the future? The truth is, the only place life truly happens is in the present moment. It's where we experience joy, love, connection, and growth. But to fully live in the present, we must cultivate the ability to be present, a skill that, like any other, requires practice and intention. In this chapter, we explore the importance of presence, how our modern world challenges it, and practical ways to cultivate it in our everyday lives. By learning to be present in the mundane, we can transform ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. In today's fast-paced, digitally connected world, staying present can feel like an elusive goal. We are constantly bombarded with information, distractions, and demands on our time and attention. It's no wonder that many of us struggle to stay focused on the here and now. Our minds are often preoccupied with what has happened or what might happen, making it difficult to fully engage with what is happening. Whether we're thinking about a conversation from yesterday, worrying about an upcoming meeting, or simply scrolling through our phones, these distractions pull us away from the present moment and prevent us from experiencing it fully. Being present is about more than just focusing on the moment, it's about truly experiencing life as it unfolds. When we are present, we are fully engaged with our surroundings, our actions, and the people we are with. This engagement allows us to connect more deeply with ourselves and others, find meaning in our activities, and appreciate the beauty of the moment. Presence is also a key to mindfulness, which, as we discussed earlier, helps us navigate the mundane with grace and awareness. By being present, we open ourselves up to the richness of each moment, no matter how ordinary it may seem. Consider the story of Lisa, a busy mother who often felt overwhelmed by her responsibilities. With 2 young children, a demanding job, and a household to manage, Lisa found herself constantly multitasking, trying to juggle everything at once. Despite her efforts, she often felt like she was failing to give her best to any one thing, and she rarely felt truly connected to her family or her own life. One day, Lisa decided to make a conscious effort to be more present. She started small, by choosing one activity each day where she would focus entirely on the moment. She began with her morning routine, deciding to be fully present while making breakfast for her children. Instead of rushing through the task, she slowed down, engaging with her children, noticing their expressions, and truly enjoying the time together. This small change had a ripple effect. Lisa found that being present in the morning set a positive tone for the rest of her day. She felt more connected to her children, more centered in herself, and more capable of handling the day's challenges. Over time, this practice of presence expanded into other areas of her life, bringing more fulfillment and joy to her everyday experiences. Lisa's story illustrates how cultivating presence can transform not only our experience of the mundane, but also our relationships, our work, and our overall sense of well-being. If you're looking to cultivate presence in your daily life, here are some practical techniques to get started. 1. Instead of multitasking, focus on doing one thing at a time. Whether it's eating a meal, having a conversation, or completing a work task, give it your full attention. This simple shift can significantly enhance your sense of presence. 2. Pay attention to the transitions between activities. For example, when you move from one task to another, take a moment to pause, breathe, and set an intention for the next activity. This helps you stay grounded and present throughout the day. 3. Engage your senses to anchor yourself in the present moment. Notice the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and tactile sensations around you. This sensory awareness brings you back to the here and now, enhancing your connection to the moment. 4. Identify common distractions in your life, such as your phone, background noise, or mental chatter. Take steps to minimize these distractions, especially during moments when you want to be fully present. 5. Gratitude naturally draws us into the present moment by shifting our focus to what we appreciate right now. Try pausing throughout the day to acknowledge something you're grateful for in that moment. 6. Set aside a few minutes each day for a presence check-in. During this time, ask yourself, am I truly present right now? If not, what is pulling my attention away? Use this awareness to gently bring yourself back to the moment. By incorporating these practices into your daily life, you can cultivate a greater sense of presence, allowing you to fully experience and appreciate the beauty and richness of each moment. Chapter 7. The Role of Gratitude. Gratitude is often spoken of as a key to happiness, a simple practice that can transform our outlook on life. But what is it about gratitude that makes it so powerful, especially in the context of the mundane? The answer lies in its ability to shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have, and to bring us into a deeper awareness of the present moment. In this chapter, we will explore how cultivating gratitude can help us find joy and meaning in the ordinary aspects of our lives. By appreciating the small things, we can enhance our sense of fulfillment and transform even the most routine tasks into opportunities for connection and growth. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you or counting your blessings. It is a way of seeing the world that acknowledges the goodness in our lives, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to focus on the positive aspects of our daily experiences, which in turn helps to build resilience, foster positive emotions, and improve our overall well-being. The power of gratitude lies in its ability to reframe our perspective. Rather than taking the mundane for granted, gratitude encourages us to see the value in the ordinary. It reminds us that every moment is a gift, and that there is beauty and meaning to be found in even the simplest of things. How often do we overlook the everyday blessings that surround us? The warmth of a morning cup of coffee, the comfort of a familiar routine, the kindness of a loved one. These are all aspects of our lives that, when viewed through the lens of gratitude, can bring us immense joy and contentment. The mundane moments of our lives are often the ones that we overlook or take for granted. But these are the moments that make up the majority of our days, and by cultivating gratitude for them, we can begin to see our lives in a new light. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, helping us to find joy in the simple pleasures that are always within our reach. Consider the story of James, a man who, like many of us, struggled with the monotony of his daily routine. He found himself going through the motions, feeling disconnected from the joy and fulfillment he once felt in life. Everything seemed to blend into a blur of sameness, and he yearned for something more. One day, James decided to start a gratitude journal. Each evening, he would write down 3 things he was grateful for that day. At first, the practice felt forced. He struggled to find things to be thankful for in the midst of his routine. But as the days went by, something began to shift. He started to notice the small things, the way the sunlight streamed through his kitchen window in the morning, the taste of his favorite sandwich, the sound of his daughter's laughter. As James continued his practice, he found that his perspective on life began to change. The things that once felt mundane and unremarkable were now sources of joy and connection. He realized that his life was full of blessings, and that by focusing on them he could find contentment and fulfillment in even the most ordinary days. James' story illustrates the transformative power of gratitude. By actively seeking out the good in our lives, we can train our minds to focus on what we have, rather than what we lack. This shift in perspective can lead to greater happiness, resilience, and a deeper appreciation for the simple things in life. If you're looking to cultivate gratitude in your daily life, here are some practical tips to get started. 1. Set aside a few minutes each day to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big or significant. Focus on the small things that bring you joy or comfort. 2. Throughout the day, take moments to pause and appreciate what's around you. Notice the things you might normally overlook, such as the feel of warm water on your hands when you wash up, or the scent of fresh air when you step outside. 3. Make it a habit to express your gratitude to the people in your life. A simple thank you can go a long way in strengthening your relationships and increasing your own sense of appreciation. 4. When faced with a difficult situation, try to find something to be grateful for within it. This might be a lesson learned, an opportunity for growth, or simply the strength to endure. 5. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on what you were grateful for. This practice can help reinforce the habit of gratitude and ensure that you end your day on a positive note. By incorporating these practices into your daily life, you can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude, which in turn can transform how you experience the mundane. When we approach life with an attitude of gratitude, we open ourselves up to the joy and fulfillment that can be found in even the simplest of moments. Chapter 8. Embracing the banal in relationships. Relationships are often thought of in terms of the big moments, the grand gestures, the significant milestones, the memorable experiences. But the true foundation of any strong relationship lies not in these occasional events, but in the small, everyday interactions that take place day in and day out. These mundane moments, often dismissed as insignificant, are the threads that weave the fabric of our connections with others. In this chapter, we will explore how embracing the banal in relationships can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. By focusing on the ordinary aspects of our interactions, we can cultivate a sense of closeness and understanding that enriches our relationships in profound ways. It's easy to overlook the importance of routine interactions in our relationships. The quick good morning to a partner, the shared silence during a commute, or the simple act of preparing a meal together. These moments might seem trivial, but they are actually the glue that holds relationships together. The significance of these ordinary moments lies in their consistency. Unlike the rare, extraordinary events, these interactions happen every day. They create a sense of continuity and reliability, which is essential for building trust and intimacy. When we start to appreciate these moments for what they are, opportunities to connect on a deeper level, we begin to see the beauty in the banal. Being present is crucial for recognizing the value of the mundane in relationships. When we are fully engaged with our loved ones, even the simplest interactions become meaningful. This presence allows us to listen more deeply, to notice the subtleties in our partner's expressions and words, and to respond with empathy and understanding. Presence also means valuing the time spent together, no matter how routine or ordinary it may seem. Whether it's sitting together at the dinner table, watching a favorite TV show, or even doing household chores side by side, these moments are opportunities to strengthen your bond and show your appreciation for each other. Consider the story of Maria and David, a couple who had been married for over 20 years. As the years passed, their lives had become filled with routine, work, household responsibilities, and the demands of raising children. They often found themselves going through the motions, their relationship gradually taking a backseat to the busyness of life. One day, Maria suggested that they start a new tradition, taking a walk together every evening after dinner. At first, the walks were quiet, with little conversation. But as the days turned into weeks, they began to look forward to this time together. The simple act of walking side by side allowed them to reconnect in a way they hadn't in years. During these walks, they talked about their day, shared their thoughts, and sometimes just enjoyed the silence together. This daily routine, though mundane, became a cherished part of their relationship. It reminded them of the importance of making time for each other and helped them rekindle the intimacy they had once shared. Maria and David's story highlights how embracing the banal aspects of a relationship can bring new depth and meaning to your connection. By valuing these small, everyday moments, you can create a foundation of trust, affection, and understanding that strengthens your relationship over time. Here are some practical ways to embrace the mundane in your relationships and use these moments to build deeper connections. 1. Develop small rituals that you and your partner can enjoy together. It could be a morning coffee routine, a weekly movie night, or simply taking time to chat at the end of each day. These rituals provide a sense of stability and shared experience. 2. Make a conscious effort to be fully present during your interactions with loved ones. Put away distractions, listen actively, and engage with each other fully, even during routine conversations or activities. 3. Don't wait for big moments to express your gratitude or appreciation. Acknowledge the small things your partner does, whether it's making your morning coffee or simply being there for you at the end of a long day. 4. Look for opportunities to find joy in the mundane tasks you do together. Whether it's cooking dinner, doing the dishes, or running errands, these moments can be enjoyable if you approach them with a positive attitude and a sense of togetherness. 5. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect together on the moments that brought you joy or connection. This practice can help you appreciate the small, ordinary moments that make up your relationship. By embracing the banal in your relationships, you can cultivate a deeper sense of connection, appreciation, and joy. These small, everyday moments, when approached with intention and presence, can have a profound impact on the strength and resilience of your relationships. Chapter 9. The creative power of the mundane. Creativity is often associated with the extraordinary, the bursts of genius, the flashes of inspiration that seem to come out of nowhere. But the truth is, creativity doesn't always require grand ideas or dramatic moments. In fact, some of the most profound and innovative ideas are born from the mundane, from the simple and routine aspects of everyday life. In this chapter, we will explore how the mundane can be a powerful source of creativity. By paying attention to the ordinary, we can unlock new ways of thinking, spark fresh ideas, and fuel our creative processes. Whether you're an artist, a writer, a problem solver, or simply someone looking to add more creativity to your life, this chapter will show you how to find inspiration in the everyday. There's a common misconception that creativity thrives on chaos and spontaneity, that it requires a departure from routine. While it's true that new experiences can inspire creativity, there's also immense creative potential in the routines and patterns that make up our daily lives. Routine provides a stable foundation from which creativity can emerge. When we engage in routine tasks, those that we do almost automatically, we free up mental space for our minds to wander and make new connections. It's in these moments of seemingly idle thought that creative ideas often surface. Consider the experience of taking a shower or going for a walk. These routine activities don't demand much cognitive effort, allowing your mind to drift and explore new ideas. Many people report having their best ideas during these mundane moments because their minds are relaxed and open to creative insights. The mundane is full of details that can spark creativity if we take the time to notice them. The pattern of raindrops on a window, the way sunlight filters through leaves, the rhythm of footsteps on a sidewalk. These small, everyday occurrences can inspire new ways of seeing and thinking. Artists, writers, and thinkers throughout history have found inspiration in the mundane. The poet William Wordsworth wrote about the beauty of nature in its simplest forms. The painter Vincent van Gogh found profound beauty in sunflowers, wheat fields, and starry nights. These creators were able to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, and in doing so, they transformed the mundane into something remarkable. Consider the story of Susan, a graphic designer who was struggling with a creative block. She had a big project due, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't come up with any new ideas. Frustrated, she decided to take a break and go for a walk in her neighborhood. As Susan walked, she noticed the way the autumn leaves had fallen in a particular pattern on the ground. The colors and shapes of the leaves sparked something in her mind, and she began to see a connection to the project she was working on. By the time she returned home, she had a new concept that she was excited to explore. What seemed like a simple walk had led to a creative breakthrough. By stepping away from her work and engaging with the mundane, observing the details of her surroundings, Susan was able to find the inspiration she needed. If you're looking to enhance your creativity by drawing inspiration from the mundane, here are some practical strategies to try. 1. When you're feeling stuck or in need of inspiration, take a break and engage in a routine activity like walking, cleaning, or gardening. Use this time to let your mind wander and be open to any ideas that may arise. 2. Practice paying attention to the small details in your everyday life. Notice colors, patterns, sounds, and textures. These observations can serve as a wellspring of creative inspiration. 3. Keep a journal where you jot down ideas, observations, and thoughts that come to you during mundane activities. Over time, you may find that these small notes spark larger creative ideas. 4. Repetitive tasks can be particularly conducive to creativity because they require minimal mental effort. Whether it's knitting, folding laundry, or driving, embrace these repetitive activities as opportunities for your mind to explore new ideas. 5. Try looking at ordinary objects or tasks from a different angle. For example, Take photographs of everyday items from unusual perspectives, or write about a mundane experience as if it were extraordinary. This exercise can help you see the world in new and creative ways. By embracing the mundane as a source of creativity, you can open yourself up to new possibilities and ideas. The ordinary moments of your life hold within them the potential for extraordinary inspiration, if you're willing to look for it. Chapter 10. Redefining Success. In a culture that often glorifies achievement, success is typically defined by extraordinary accomplishments, winning awards, reaching high-level positions, or achieving financial wealth. However, this narrow definition can leave us feeling inadequate or unfulfilled, especially when our daily lives are filled with the mundane. But what if success wasn't just about the big, showy moments? What if it was about something much simpler, something found in the everyday? This chapter invites you to redefine success by recognizing the value in the small, consistent efforts that shape our lives. By shifting our perspective from the extraordinary to the ordinary, we can cultivate a sense of success that is more aligned with our values, more sustainable, and ultimately more fulfilling. The conventional view of success is often tied to external validation, titles, accolades, wealth, and status. While these achievements are certainly worthy of celebration, they represent only a fraction of what success can truly mean. This traditional view of success can lead us to overlook the quieter, less visible forms of success that are equally, if not more, important. For many people, the pursuit of conventional success can be exhausting, leading to burnout, stress, and a constant feeling of never enough. This relentless chase can make us lose sight of the simple joys and achievements that occur in our everyday lives. It can also create a disconnect between our true selves and the version of ourselves that we present to the world. Redefining success starts with a shift in mindset. It involves recognizing that success is not just about reaching a destination, but about how we live our lives each day. It's about the small victories, the personal growth, and the positive impact we have on others. Success can be found in the consistency of showing up for yourself and others, in the resilience to keep going despite challenges, and in the ability to find contentment and joy in the simple moments. By redefining success on your own terms, you can create a life that is rich in meaning and satisfaction, regardless of how it looks to others. Consider the story of Tom, who spent years climbing the corporate ladder in pursuit of what he thought was success. He worked long hours, made significant sacrifices, and eventually reached the position he had always dreamed of. But when he got there, he felt an unexpected emptiness. The title and the salary were there, but the fulfillment was not. Feeling lost, Tom decided to take a step back and reevaluate his definition of success. He realized that what truly brought him joy wasn't the accolades or the money, but the small, everyday moments he spent with his family, the satisfaction of helping others, and the peace he found in his hobbies. Tom decided to make a change. He left his high-stress job for a role that allowed him more time with his family and more opportunities to engage in meaningful work. While the new position didn't come with the same prestige or paycheck, Tom found himself happier and more fulfilled than ever. He had redefined success on his own terms, prioritizing what mattered most to him. Tom's story illustrates that success doesn't have to fit a conventional mold. When we allow ourselves to redefine what success means, we open the door to a life that is more authentic and aligned with our true values. If you're ready to redefine success in your own life, here are some practical steps to guide you. 1. Take time to consider what truly matters to you. What are your core values? How do you want to live your life? Let these values guide your definition of success. 2. Acknowledge and celebrate the small successes in your life. Whether it's sticking to a daily routine, completing a project, or simply taking time for yourself, these small wins contribute to a larger sense of fulfillment. 3. Instead of focusing solely on external achievements, set personal goals that align with your values and bring you joy. These could be related to personal growth, relationships, or well-being. 4. Success is not just about reaching a destination but about the journey along the way. Embrace the process, and find fulfillment in the daily actions that bring you closer to your goals. 5. Practice contentment by appreciating what you have in the present moment. Contentment doesn't mean settling, it means finding peace and satisfaction in your life as it is, while still striving for growth. By redefining success to include the ordinary, you can create a more balanced, fulfilling life. Success is not just about the big moments, it's about the way you live each day, the connections you build, and the person you become along the way. Chapter 11. Building a Life Around the Mundane. As we've explored throughout this book, the mundane aspects of life, the routines, the small moments, the everyday tasks, hold within them the potential for deep fulfillment and meaning. But how do we take these insights and use them to build a life that is not just occasionally touched by these moments, but fundamentally grounded in them? In this chapter, we will discuss how to intentionally design a life that embraces the mundane as its core foundation. By aligning our daily practices, environments, and values with an appreciation for the ordinary, we can create a life that is rich in meaning, resilient in the face of challenges, and deeply satisfying. Living a life that embraces the mundane begins with intention. It's about consciously choosing to value and prioritize the ordinary moments that make up the bulk of our days. This doesn't mean rejecting ambition or striving for excellence, rather, it's about recognizing that fulfillment often lies in the process, not just the outcome. When we set our intentions to appreciate and engage fully with the mundane, we shift our focus from the external markers of success to the internal experiences of contentment and peace. This shift allows us to find joy in the present moment, rather than constantly chasing after the next big thing. One of the most effective ways to build a life around the mundane is by designing a daily routine that reflects your values and brings you joy. Routines provide structure and predictability, which can help reduce stress and create a sense of stability. When these routines are infused with intention, they become more than just a way to manage time, they become rituals that nurture the soul. Consider your current daily routine. How much of it is driven by necessity or habit, and how much of it is intentionally designed to support your well-being and fulfillment? By taking a closer look at how you spend your time, you can identify opportunities to infuse more meaning into your day. For example, if you enjoy starting your day with a cup of coffee, you might turn this routine into a mindful morning ritual. Instead of rushing through it, take a few moments to savor the aroma, the warmth of the cup in your hands, and the quiet of the early morning. This simple shift can transform an ordinary routine into a moment of peace and presence. Our physical environment plays a significant role in how we experience the mundane. A cluttered, chaotic space can lead to stress and distraction, while a well-organized, intentional environment can enhance our sense of peace and well-being. Consider how your surroundings impact your daily life. Are there areas of your home or workspace that could be simplified or reorganized to better support your routines and rituals? Creating a nurturing environment doesn't necessarily mean a major overhaul. Even small changes, like adding a plant to your workspace or decluttering a frequently used surface, can make a big difference. Your environment should reflect and support the life you want to live. By surrounding yourself with things that bring you joy and removing those that create stress, you can create a space that feels like a sanctuary, one that invites you to slow down, be present, and appreciate the mundane. Consider the story of Beth, a woman who once felt overwhelmed by the demands of her fast-paced career. She was constantly chasing after goals, yet she felt disconnected and unfulfilled. Despite her achievements, something was missing. After a period of reflection, Beth decided to make some changes. She simplified her life, starting with her daily routine. She began each day with a quiet meditation and a slow breakfast, allowing herself to ease into the day. She also made changes to her environment, creating a calm, uncluttered space where she could work and relax without distraction. These changes transformed Beth's experience of daily life. She found that by embracing the mundane, she felt more connected to herself and more content with her life. The pressure to achieve faded as she discovered that true fulfillment came from living intentionally, with appreciation for the small moments that made up her day. Beth's story illustrates the power of building a life around the mundane. By aligning her routines, environment, and values with an appreciation for the ordinary, she created a life that was not only fulfilling but also resilient and sustainable. If you're ready to start building a life that embraces the mundane, here are some practical steps to guide you. 1. Begin by setting clear intentions for how you want to live each day. What values do you want to prioritize? How do you want to feel as you move through your day? Use these intentions to guide your decisions and actions. 2. Take a close look at your daily routine and identify ways to make it more intentional. Consider incorporating rituals that bring you joy, such as a morning walk, a midday pause for reflection, or a bedtime reading session. 3. Evaluate your living and working spaces to see where you can simplify or reorganize. Create environments that support your routines and help you feel calm, focused, and content. 4. Make a conscious effort to be present in the mundane moments of your day. Whether you're washing dishes, commuting, or folding laundry, approach these tasks with mindfulness and appreciation. 5. Set aside time to regularly reflect on your life and your routines. Are they bringing you the fulfillment and peace you desire? If not, consider what adjustments you can make to better align your life with your values. By intentionally designing your life around the mundane, you can create a foundation of fulfillment that sustains you through the ups and downs of life. The mundane, when approached with intention and presence, becomes not just a backdrop to your life, but the very fabric of it, a fabric that is rich, resilient, and deeply satisfying. Chapter 12. Sustaining Fulfillment Through the Mundane. As we come to the end of this journey together, it's time to reflect on all that we've explored: the hidden depth in daily routines, the power of small steps, the beauty in simplicity, and the profound impact of presence and gratitude in our lives. We've seen how embracing the mundane can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life, a life that is grounded not in the pursuit of extraordinary moments, but in the appreciation of the ordinary. In this final chapter, we will discuss how to sustain the fulfillment you've begun to cultivate through the practices and perspectives shared in this book. The goal is to help you continue to live a life that is not only deeply satisfying but also resilient, adaptable, and continually enriched by the mundane. Sustaining fulfillment through the mundane requires consistency. The practices you've started, whether it's mindful routines, gratitude journaling, or being present in everyday moments, need to be nurtured and maintained over time. Consistency doesn't mean rigidly adhering to a routine, rather, it's about regularly returning to the practices that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment. Think of these practices as seeds that you've planted throughout the course of this book. For them to grow into something lasting, they need to be tended to with care. Some days this might mean simply taking a moment to pause and breathe. Other days it might involve a more intentional practice, like reflecting on your day or setting new intentions. The key is to stay engaged with the process, even when life gets busy or challenging. While consistency is important, it's equally important to be flexible and adaptable. Life is dynamic, and so too should be your approach to sustaining fulfillment. There will be times when your routine is disrupted, when you face new challenges, or when your priorities shift. In these moments, it's essential to be kind to yourself and to allow your practices to evolve. Flexibility might mean adjusting your routine to fit your current circumstances, or finding new ways to practice presence and gratitude. It might also mean recognizing when a particular practice is no longer serving you and being open to exploring new ones. The ability to adapt ensures that your journey of fulfillment continues, even as life changes around you. Our relationships play a crucial role in sustaining fulfillment. The mundane moments we share with loved ones, whether it's a quiet evening at home, a daily check-in, or a shared chore, are opportunities to deepen our connections and to build a strong foundation of support and understanding. Nurturing these relationships requires attention and intention. It's about being present with others, expressing gratitude for the small things, and creating shared rituals that strengthen your bond. By valuing the mundane in your relationships, you create a network of connection and support that enriches your life and sustains you through both the ordinary and the extraordinary. Consider the story of Emma, a woman who, after years of striving for success and recognition, decided to shift her focus to the mundane aspects of her life. She began practicing mindfulness during her daily routines, expressing gratitude for the small things, and simplifying her environment. Over time, these practices transformed her experience of daily life, bringing her a sense of peace and fulfillment she had never known. But Emma's journey didn't stop there. As life brought new challenges, changes in her career, health issues, and family responsibilities, she realized the importance of staying flexible and adapting her practices to fit her new circumstances. She learned to let go of rigidity, embracing the ebb and flow of life, while maintaining her commitment to living intentionally. Through it all, Emma discovered that fulfillment is not a destination but a journey, one that is sustained by the small, consistent practices of everyday life. Her story reminds us that while the path may change, the principles of living a fulfilled life remain the same: presence, gratitude, simplicity, and the appreciation of the mundane. As you continue on your journey of fulfillment, here are some strategies to help you sustain the practices and perspectives you've cultivated. 1. Set aside time regularly to reflect on your life and your practices. What's working well? What might need adjustment? Reflection helps you stay connected to your intentions and make necessary changes. 2. Acknowledge and celebrate the small successes along the way. These might be moments of presence, acts of kindness, or times when you've embraced simplicity. Celebrating these moments reinforces their importance in your life. 3. Be willing to adapt your practices as needed. Life will bring changes, and your approach to fulfillment should be flexible enough to accommodate them. Stay open to exploring new practices or adjusting old ones. 4. Periodically revisit the intentions you set earlier in your journey. Are they still aligned with your values and goals? If not, consider setting new intentions that reflect where you are now. 5. Life will inevitably bring challenges, and sustaining fulfillment requires resilience. Cultivate resilience by maintaining your practices even in difficult times, and by reaching out to your support network when needed. By continuing to engage with the mundane in a meaningful way, you can sustain the fulfillment you've begun to cultivate. Remember that fulfillment is not about achieving a perfect life, but about finding joy, meaning, and peace in the life you have, one small, ordinary moment at a time. Final words. This final chapter brings together the themes and practices explored throughout the book, offering readers a roadmap for sustaining the fulfillment they've cultivated. Take care and be well.